On this channel, we've talked a lot about entitled people, especially entitled TikTokers. Someone honked their horn and I jumped so hard. Anyways, we have another entitled TikToker in today's video that we're going to be talking about, and this one is absolutely bizarre. Now, this woman attended a wedding and demanded Chinese takeout because she was a vegan, couldn't eat anything on the menu, so she said, I want Chinese takeout. And then whenever they weren't able to accommodate her, which they really did try to accommodate this woman, she decided to withhold gift giving to the bride and the groom. In her first video she uploaded to TikTok talking about the situation, she caught so much backlash that she ended up uploading apology video, and apology is going to be in quotations because she really didn't apologize, but she did drop a bombshell on who the bride and the groom were and who the curator of the wedding was. So yeah, it's a mess and we're going to dive right into it. Before we do, I've noticed that 98% of the people who watch my content aren't subscribed to this channel. So if you're one of those people, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. And if you go to my profile and continue to check out other content, I'll give you a cookie.
I'm so curious about what you would do. If you're invited to a wedding and you accept the invitation, they ask you what you want to eat because they know that you're vegan, or let's just like insert any other dietary restriction, right? They know that and they're like, what do you want to eat? Because it's not going to be on the catered menu. You give them the simplest thing, Chinese food. You write it out. They're like, bet, I'll send it to the coordinator. And you're like, okay. Also, there are about 8 different spots near the church that you're getting married at where you can just get it from. They're like, no problem. I'll probably get it the day before and just heat it in the mic. I don't even have a problem with that. Cool. But that's not what happened, right? You get a call like 2 hours before the wedding, 2.5 hours, and the coordinator's like, so where do I get this from? Where do you order from? Ma'am, what are you talking about? And so I'm like, any Chinese store, just Google it. They're all the same. It'll taste good, right? I don't even care if it doesn't taste good. Like, I just want something to eat. I want my child to have something to eat. And then
I get it. I get it. I really do. Weddings are long. You don't want to go to a wedding and sit there for a couple hours without eating because weddings can take a really long time. So, of course, after all the celebration, one can work up an appetite. So I totally understand wanting to have a meal, especially for your child who's going to be attending that wedding with you. But if she's so dead set in the fact that, oh, it has to be vegan, it's like a special accommodation that they have to go out of their way just to make for this one specific individual, you'd think that she would just say, hey, it's just me. It's not like you're getting vegan food for like a huge selection of people. It's just me. I can pick up my own meal and bring it. Especially because she is vegan. What if they get something that's like beef broth or something and don't specify, hey, it has to be exactly vegan stuff? What if they mess up her order? Like, if I was vegan and it was just accommodation for me, I'd much rather just go and pick up that food. Because I've attended a couple weddings in my time, I understand how high maintenance that they are, and I understand shit can go wrong at the last minute. And you kind of have to have all hands on deck for those moments, especially when it's like literally getting time to walk down the aisle. As the coordinator, I would not want to put that on them for one specific accommodation just for me whenever they should be focused on the bride and groom for their big day. I feel like if that's really the case, you need that accommodation, just eat before the wedding or shit, pick it up yourself and bring it to the wedding. Why make the coordinator go out of their way for just you?
Like, I just want something to eat. I want my child to have something to eat. And then they're like, okay, working on it. And then an hour before, they're like, how close are you to the church where, the family members are getting married? And I'm like, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They're like, okay, can you go pick up the food? I placed an order. Can you go pick? I will not. No, I will not. Why would I go do that? That doesn't even make sense to me.
Guys, I'm so pissed. I went to a wedding and I demanded Chinese takeout. Whenever the coordinator tried their best to get it, but they couldn't because they were stuck at the wedding dealing with misfortunes that happen on wedding days. I'm so offended. Why would she ask me to pick up my own food? That's just for me and my child. Why would she ask me to go get it myself? At this point, I feel like it's just common sense. Why ask a wedding coordinator who's very busy with everybody else? And it's not like she didn't even try. She placed the order for the woman, so she definitely did try to get her Chinese takeout, but unfortunately the weddings get busy. She's the coordinator. She has hundreds of guests to deal with, including the bride and the groom. If she can't go pick up that Chinese takeout that's specifically just for you and your child only, I think you should take it upon yourself to go and pick it up. But this woman clearly lives in entitlement land where she's entirely the main character, and she just thinks that the world should revolve around her, even on these people's wedding day, and they should just cater to her every little beckoning need, including going to pick up this Chinese takeout.
I placed an order. Can you go pick? I will not. No, I will not. Why would I go do that? That doesn't even make sense to me. Like, I'm here to see some nuptials, not be your assistant. And they're like, well, you're not going to have anything to eat. And I'm like, okay, cool. I kind of expected this to happen because your track record with being a coordinator is like iffy. So my question is, what do you do in terms of a gift? Because I feel like the gift serves two different things, right? The gift is intended to help you cut costs, right? Like traditionally, like I'm going to, if I'm not getting you like something tangible, I'm just giving you cash. And I want to help cut the costs that you spent on these meals. Now, my meal is super cheap because it's Chinese food. It's like $20, $25, if that, right? But then the other side of the gift giving is like, it's intended to like celebrate you. You just said your nuptials and yay, you're married, go be great. But I feel some kind of way if I didn't get any return on my gift. Like I didn't get food, period. Like I didn't get food. So what do? Do you still give the gift?
Jesus would be rolling in his tomb right now if he did not rise on the third day. She's making it into such a big deal, like they didn't accommodate her. I mean, they said, hey, like we're busy, can you go pick up your own food? And she's like, why would I do that? And she's talking about the gift giving, like she's going to withhold this couple's gift for their wedding that she went out of their way to purchase them just because they didn't accommodate her, saying like it's a two-way street with gift giving. Why would I give something if I'm not going to give something in return? Maybe it's because you're selling two people coming together in holy matrimony and that's just the right thing to do. Now, I would totally understand if it was like a relationship type situation where, say, you're constantly giving and giving and giving to your partner, but then they never pitch in financially or do anything back for you, like whatsoever. I would totally understand saying like, look, if I'm going to keep gift giving, I'm going to need something in return. I understand that. But this situation for real, where you're just going to a wedding and demanding Chinese takeout, and then they can't accommodate you with that because it's just one person out of the many asking for it, and you're going to withhold the couple's gift. As bad and as shitty as that sounds, because it is really bad and really shitty, but it gets even worse when y'all find out who the groom is.
Do you still give the gift? I don't know. I am asking other people and they're like, oh, well, maybe you should. And then they're like, absolutely not. Because you did all this driving. I didn't mention that like I had drove like 5 hours to get to this wedding. So like I'm arriving an hour before it starts, straight off the road. Like, ugh. I don't know. I want feedback. I want feedback. Like, one, I'm a Virgo, and two, like, rigid, right? Like, I said I'm a Virgo. You get it. Tell me what you think you would do, please.
She's treating this wedding like it's a court hearing. You got invited to go to the wedding. You did not have to go to the wedding, but what did you do? You decided to go out of your way to go to the wedding and to complain that you drove 5 hours just to get there, just to not be accommodated. Again, a special accommodation just for you and your child. You should have stopped and picked up your food either on the way. You should have ate on the way. You should have brought it with you, packed a little veggie snack. I don't know, anything. But to withhold the gift from the couple after saying, oh, she's just a Virgo. I hate whenever people bring up their star sign to justify shitty behavior, like somebody who do some shitty shit, like, I'm a Virgo, or I'm a Gemini. Come on. When she posted that original video, she was talking about she just wanted people's thoughts and opinions to know she was doing the right thing or if she was like doing the wrong thing by what she did. She just really wanted people to reach out and give them their opinions. And they didn't give her good opinions. TikTok was not happy about it. So she made a second video, and I said it was like an apology in quotations because it's not really an apology. And she dishes who the groom really is, and it gets insane.
Okay, let me just offer an apology and some clarity. One, I feel like my question has really activated some untreated, unnamed, unhealed trauma in some of y'all, because the way my comments are just blowing up with like all kinds of mess, it's a little funny. But the second thing is maybe you need information, because it's clear that some of y'all didn't watch the video. to completion. The first thing is that the wedding that I attended was for my brother, right? My brother and like one of my best friends. He asked me, what are you going to eat? The caterer did not provide vegan options. So I try to just like make it real simple. I chose Chinese because there are Chinese like corner stores every 3 blocks, right? I Googled it. Everything around the church was like easily accessible. The next thing is that what I didn't share was that the coordinator was my sister, right? I've been vegan for the majority of my life. And my brother already knew, like, he didn't really have complete faith in my sister, like, coming through on everything. And she didn't. It was a fail. It was a lack of just consideration. I think the other thing is that there was just ambivalence about, you know, whether my daughter and I ate if I wasn't willing to do the labor. And that's absurd to me because what I'm looking for is reciprocation, right? In any relationship I have, relationships are transactional. We can try and say that they're not, but indeed they are. So if I'm giving you the best, right? Top tier, I expect that. And if you can't reciprocate, then we just have a new baseline of functioning, right? Like the love is always there, but like I'm going to give you what you give me because it needs to be balanced. And I don't want to get too deep, but like some of y'all responses are really rooted in patriarchy and colonialism. I'm not the caretaker for my brother. I'm not the caretaker for anyone else. Asking me to do extra labor is absurd when I am a guest, indeed, right? I drove 5 hours, spent $500, and that was my gift, my attendance.
Okay, Sherlock Holmes. Seems like we have a mystery to solve here. Who's in the wrong? You. Clearly, obviously. Now she's saying, relationships are transactional. But the thing that I think she's forgetting here is that she's treating this as if it's a normal day. She's out and about. They're going to have lunch together and like she's saying to her brother and sister, hey, like I'm vegan, so can we please choose a place that has a vegan option so we can all actually enjoy lunch together? And they're just like, no, fuck your veganism. That's not the case. This is a wedding. Your sister is hired as the coordinator, so she has to be there. She has a job to do. She can't just leave the wedding because you requested Chinese food. And you chose to drive for 5 hours past multiple establishments, food establishments, and you stated that there's a Chinese place on like literally every 3 blocks. Why couldn't you have just stopped and picked up your meal, saying that you're not a caterer to your brother, you're not a caterer to your sister? She might be the coordinator, but she is not a caterer to you. Why are you expecting them to go out of their way, him on his wedding day and her on the day of her brother's wedding, and she's trying to coordinate and make everything as flawless as possible, which I'm sure there are some flaws. Not everybody's perfect. I'm really questioning why you think it's up to them to feed you and your child whenever you have this special request and it's just for you. If it was for like a mass amount of people, like half the people who attended were vegan, I'm sure that they would include vegan options, but it's just you, Missy ma'am. Why can't you just stop and pick up you and your daughter's food on the way? Plus, when it comes down to your child eating, as the parent, you should just automatically take that responsibility, whether you're going to a wedding or not. If you know that the food might not be available for you, pick it up on the damn way. So sad that this is her brother's wedding, and instead of getting on TikTok and being like, hey, like my brother just got married, like, oh my God, congratulations to them. The wedding was gorgeous. He looked incredible. The bride was beautiful. Like everything was amazing. My daughter had a great time. She's like, they didn't accommodate me. They didn't give me Chinese food. Bitch, it's a wedding. The fuck? The fact that it's her brother's wedding day and it should be all about him, not even the sister who's the coordinator or the sister who attended and demanded Chinese food, it should not be about y'all. It should be about the brother, his magical day, the one day of his life that he's never gonna forget. And now, thanks to you, it's even more unforgettable. Imagine attending one of your loved ones' weddings and you demand reciprocation.
Some of y'all responses are really rooted in patriarchy and colonialism. I said I'm a Virgo, you get it.
She said, roots, darling. She said, I'm rooted in colonialism. You guys are living in patriarchy. I don't know, this to me like really tickled a spot because I've seen a lot of entitled people, but to this extent to where you're showing up at your sibling's wedding and you're asking them to accommodate you, and then complaining that you drove 5 hours to attend your siblings' once-in-a-lifetime event, and then pissed off and like don't even say anything nice about the wedding. You just say, yeah, fuck them because they didn't give me Chinese food. You know, just my takeaway from this video, don't be entitled to this extent. If your sibling or loved one, or anybody for that matter, is having a wedding, do not show up there and request them to accommodate just your needs. It's not about you. And the whole fact of gift giving, like the whole point of it is to do something nice for somebody and gift them something, anything, something that they may want, have needed, looked forward to having, something that just came out and you think that they would like it. Gift giving is just about being nice out of the kindness of your heart and getting them something that you think that they might enjoy. It's not about getting something in return. That's a transactional thing, but gift giving to me isn't transactional. It's something that you do out of the kindness of your heart. It's not like giving somebody $1 and expecting them to give you the donut back in return. I don't know. It's interesting to me, like the way that her mind is processing this whole event. Anyways, with that being said, don't be like this woman.